It's 2-0 Miami at 4-0 Duke, and College Football Nation, this is your game on Friday night. You got to watch the Canes and the Blue Devils go at it, and Duke with a couple impressive wins under their belts. And Cam, I don't know how much you've had a chance to prep Duke, but as I mentioned, 4-0, I did see the game against Northwestern. It was the best matchup on paper, one particular Saturday at noon. So that was my go-to game to start, and it didn't stay my go-to game for very long because Duke knocked them off the field. It was impressive against a Northwestern team that was supposed to be somewhat of a factor in the Big Ten. And with an experienced quarterback back and Justin Jackson back at running back, one of the better backs in the nation at Northwestern, and Duke completely outclassed them. So we've had this discussion about Coastal Division opponents, especially outside of Virginia Tech, where there's a discrepancy in talent. It's not a huge gap, but it's significant. And it's going to be there on Friday night. But Duke they're maximizing their talent, and they've got this kid in Daniel Jones at quarterback who has thrown 9 interceptions, but he makes plays both passing and running, and they're pretty dangerous.
Yeah, there are teams that have talent, and Duke is one of them. Obviously, the pinnacle on talent in the Coastal Division is the Miami Hurricanes, and that is without debate or controversy from anybody. But yeah, Duke has played 4 games and they've won all of them, and they're playing very sound offense. Daniel Jones, their redshirt sophomore quarterback, seems to have been taking a step forward, working with David Cutcliffe, their head coach and QB guru, who has groomed many a good QB in his time. And then the defense is just really locking down opponents that they should lock down. And I already put it up there on the website in, I think it was Monday's news and notes piece at 6 a.m. But yeah, the Duke Blue Devils are the #1 team in the nation in third down defense right now. And on the opposite side of that, and that's through 4 games, I think they're allowing like 12% conversions on opponents' third downs through 4 games, which is phenomenal, especially when you consider the average is 35, 40% or maybe even higher. Whereas Miami, actually it's probably lower than that, because Miami is 128th out of 130 in opponents' third down conversions, giving up over 50% at the current juncture. So if you look at one stat as something, to get off the field on defense and stay on the field on offense, that's one, that sticks out like a sore thumb. So yeah, I think that Duke has as much talent. They probably are more talented than every team that they played, and it's been showing like that, which is really positive for them, and something that definitely makes me not wary, but want to focus on this game. I did not get to see any of the other games, but, just reading recaps and looking around, seeing those kind of things. So, yeah, Daniel Jones does have some talent, and that's something that we're definitely going to look at. And the defense, while I think undersized as compared to Miami, and, again, not as athletic compared to Miami, has been playing absolutely lights out. And I don't know if the way that they're playing now is the new normal for Duke, or if this is like the ceiling and they're going to have a regression to the mean, just like that. You remember when Dwayne Wade hit all those 3-pointers in a row? Like, it was like 9 of 13 over a couple of games, and all of a sudden the next few games he missed like all 12 that he took, because you're not that kind of shooter. I don't know which way it's going to go with Duke, and I think that Friday night is going to be a big step towards everybody understanding which way it's going to go. But I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. Definitely high school football time, 7 o'clock on Friday. So everybody who's home is probably going to be watching that game because, there is no other college football game at that time. But it's going to be a really interesting matchup, and it's definitely one that I don't want to overlook for the Hurricanes because, while we are the more talented team in pretty much every game we're going to play this year, you have to go out and perform like that. And this is going to be the first big test of that this season.
Yeah, my money's still on Duke being roughly a 500 team in the ACC and about 7-5, maybe 8-4 with this 4-0 start overall here in 2017. Cam Underwood joining us from State of the U to talk Miami football each and every week, or as much as we can possibly track down Cam, with Miami, of course, having to take off that 20-day break because of Hurricane Irma, and coming back with that 52-30 win over Toledo and getting ready for Duke on Friday night.